everybody.
Hello.
Hello, chicken nugget.
Hello.
Hello.
All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
My fault. My fault that we're late. I'm sorry. I'm putting together a studio to take with me to New York. Yes. So that I can join you guys while I am there. And I may have pulled out a cord I shouldn't. And we figured it out, though. Why is this?
I don't know. I was going by it, and I think I accidentally hit it.
Nah, you did. Flush and Captain Happy, Ulysses is here. Bob, James, Katie's mom, Laura in Michigan.
Not Katie's mom. Right on.
And Lisa. Great to see all of you.
Lacer.
It is a Good Friday. You know why it's really, truly a Good Friday? Is because we have Anti-Harassment Court lined up and ready to go.
Is this case you got about a kid not going to school? Or
I'm not sure. I have no idea what's going on. I just came over because the dude's,
there's a guy with a thing. Resign. He looks kind of funny.
We'll get to see in a second. Believe it or not, there's a lot of live court going on today. Kind of surprised. So
the rest for the wicked, Creed.
Happy about that. And it's Friday, and it's a holiday, and Creed is getting ready to make a big trip. So it's been a busy day regardless. We might be with you for just 1 hour today. We've still got, of course, we got a chase coming up at 4:05, and then, of course, members only. And in between everything else, I've been hunting for bonuses today, too. So,
and at 8 p.m. tonight, a video will premiere. An Easter video that I decided I was going to make at 11 o'clock last night. And I was like, you know what? You've got the idea in your head. You better get it out now or you won't do it. So that'll be dropping. It's not long. It's just a little something.
Nice. All right. We got a case Monday through Friday at 1 East. God bless you.
Mazel tov.
I want Creed with stuffed stockings on his head singing "Here Comes Creeder Cottontail" up and down the money trail. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I wanted you guys to see the Pirates, so I there's really no reason to even jump into this one. I say we go over to Anti-Harassment Court, which just started not long ago, right?
Yeah, I rolled it back a little bit. We got people coming into the courtroom, introducing themselves, getting ready for today's action. Some in court, some via Zoom.
The person logged in as KK. You appear to be in a car. If you could tell me what your name is, please.
My name?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Ekaterina Krikova.
Yeah, pronounce that one. Hi, Hal. See you Monday.
No wonder she just
say hello.
Wrote K on there. What a name.
KK. Thank God it's not, with one more K. Really be questioning what's going on. Double F. Hello.
iPhone up here can't figure out how to turn his unmute itself.
It's got Gilbert Gottfried vibes.
Yes. Anyway, this lady didn't get here from 90-day fiance type wedding.
Hello?
Happy 40th, Melissa. All downhill from here.
My name is Zed DeWeek.
Best is yet to come, baby. Don't let him tell you that.
Were these two a couple? Or hey, by the way, look at the dude in the reflection right there.
Yeah, he's got a boss ass ponytail.
Oh, yes, he does. Beautiful hair. Hello, Glenn. Happy Friday. Thank you for the share, as always. You got it right now, James.
We're in it right now. There's a not members only video dropping at 8 o'clock.
Should we have a not members day where no members are allowed?
We block them. Kick them bastards out. KK got a nice car. Whoa.
Well, who you
Rover,
is?
who do you represent?
Oh, she's the interpreter in case needed.
Oh, okay. On behalf of the Y Belt.
Golly, she's rough.
Hey, look, we got an extra shot in the courtroom. Did you see that?
Uh-huh.
Hello, Lynn. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Okay, and we have an interpreter, and I'm sorry, I don't know which party or whether both parties need interpreters.
Hi.
Krikova.
Okay, so we have Ms. Krikova and
Mr. I understand, Ulysses.
Understand it.
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Ulysses, my hero.
Okay, well, I will swear you both in if you could both raise your right hands.
Поднимите ваши правые руки, пожалуйста.
Oh, that
Swear
does
or
not
affirm
sound
the
like that
evidence
old
you're
lady.
about to give shall be the
Not at
truth, the
all.
whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Вы клянетесь или обещаете, что все показания, которые вы сейчас будете давать по этому делу, будут правдой, только правдой и
This
ничем
was just
кроме
kidding,
правды?
Jules. This is a joke.
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
do. I do.
Thank you.
I do.
And
Francis, say
we're
I
still here
do.
for Ms. Krikova. She's the petitioner,
Hey.
and so she has the burden of proof.
Госпожа Крикова, вы подали заявление, и поэтому на вас лежит обязанность доказывания, что все произошедшее является правдой.
And the respondent will then have an opportunity to respond.
После этого будет
she's going after
возможность
him.
ответчику предоставить ответное слово.
Huh.
Yes, I understand. Да, я понимаю.
No, but we
And
might
Ms.
learn a little
Krikova,
bit
I
by
read
the end
over
of
your
this.
petition, but I didn't have a whole lot of details
Sure.
in terms of dates or very much else for that matter. If you could just walk me through what your issues are with Mr. Duik.
Пожалуйста, госпожа Крикова, я прочитал ваше заявление, но у меня осталось очень много вопросов относительно деталей, указанных там, дат и так далее. И поэтому я прошу вас, кратко расскажите мне всю историю, которая произошла между вами.
Мы встречались. Он делал много для меня, для моих
Oh,
детей.
this is going to be a long one. I think.
We
long
had
day.
a relationship. We had a romantic relationship, and he did a lot for me and my kids.
Okay.
I see why
Но
he's
меня не
harassing her.
устраивает то, что у него есть жена, у него есть 2 детей, и я его всегда...
Looks like she's got a nice ride, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Real
В
nice
общем,
ride.
Who's
мне не устраивали наши отношения в последнее время
okay?
Yes, Creed?
No, I was going to say, I see that. Go ahead.
особенно. Он все время проверял, где я, что я, как я, зачем, почему. И он очень сильно боялся, что узнает его семья, что у него что-то есть.
Lately, I kind of disliked the relationship we had. I didn't like the fact that he has a family. He has a wife, he has children. And lately, he started controlling me, asking me questions as where I was, what I did.
My
I didn't
man.
like it because he has his own family to take care of.
So he's married,
Я его не знаю вообще.
kids.
I'm not familiar with his family at all. I don't know them at all.
Он
They had a
знает всю
relationship, correct?
мою семью. Он с нами ездил отдыхать. Я его брала везде с собой. Он знает всех абсолютно.
But he knows my whole family, all the members of my family, because we went to rest together, and he knows all my family. I don't like that.
Jonathan, go to the little wheel,
Mm-hmm.
go to advanced,
Mm-hmm.
and you bump it up from there. It's a weekend thing, especially when it's busy on the old YouTube. You're gonna get some craps.
By the way, if you didn't catch what just has been laid out, this hot chick down here was banging this old dude up here.
Right.
And he's got a whole family. And she
married,
don't know them.
kids.
And wow, good for him. Am I right?
So-
I mean,
And the other thing that she just said, she knows nothing of his family, nothing about the kids. However, vice versa, he knows a lot with her family, apparently. Right?
yeah, I'm sure he probably went to high school with her dad.
So are you no longer in a relationship then?
Ну, ваши отношения прекратились, больше у вас нет отношений
Hello,
между
Ann.
вами.
Нет отношений. Нет отношений.
The relationship stopped.
Yes, Jules.
And when did
Yes.
that happen?
И когда это произошло?
Чуть больше 2 недель назад.
A little more than 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Ooh,
Fresh wounds.
Fresh wounds. Yes, fresh wounds.
And when is the last time you heard from Mr. Duik?
И когда последний раз у вас был контакт с ним?
Я даже не знаю, какой это
He
был
sent me
день.
some penis pics the
I
other day. I
even
mean,
don't remember what day it was.
In March. Last day.
I figured as
in
much. I
March.
just restart it though, or go to Facebook. If
And what
YouTube's being a
did he say or
bitch.
do for that last contact he had with you?
Ну, во время этого последнего контакта, вот в конце марта, который был между вами, что он вам говорил или что он делал? В чем суть заключалась этого контакта?
Мы встретились в Sherry's.
he's more like a
We
sugar
met
grandpa.
at Sherry's.
Right.
Мы сидели там, разговаривали, он
According to that
сказал,
woman, elderly woman yesterday.
почему мы
this guy
пошли
must be
разговаривать,
90.
потому что я увидела, что с моего банка ушли деньги, он перевел на себя через Zelle, сделал 4 перевода.
Why we met at Sherry's, and why we met, the reason
Sherry's
for
in
that
Steve's Ferry?
was that he made 4 withdrawals using Zelle from
I
my
thought she said Zelle.
account.
И с моего сына аккаунта тоже.
And also from the account of my son.
How did he
Я его
have-
спросила, почему ты взял
Zelle
вот так,
don't work
не
that way.
сказав мне, просто перевел деньги с моего аккаунта. Почему ты меня не спросил? Он знал, что у меня были деньги. Я бы ему отдала, если он хочет.
I asked him why did he did it that way. Why didn't he ask me? Because he knew that I had money, and if he asked me for money, I could have given him the money.
Потому что я знаю, что он на нас тратился. Да, он тратился, но он тратился со своим расчетом, чтобы...
He got money from her? Huh?
So she's claiming that she's got monies.
And he's taken, he zelled some money out of her accounts.
Including the sons as well. Her son, apparently.
How? This guy?
The
sugar granddaddy?
This is off to a fantastic start today, I must say.
Wow.
Он говорит, я никогда не покупаю relationship. А на самом деле он это делал.
I know because he spent money on me, on my family. He would say that he never buys a relationship, but in fact, that's what he was doing.
Oh, yeah, he's an old
А я
guy.
хотела настоящих отношений, открытых, без вранья, без того, что у него есть семья на стороне. Я хотела знать все, я хотела по-настоящему, чтобы все было.
But I was looking for a true, honest relationship. I didn't want any lies, any secrets, any families involved, and I just wanted real, true relationship.
И он сказал,
married
если
man.
ты произведешь
Yes.
какое-то действие в
Yeah,
мою
the whole
сторону,
family,
если ты
yeah.
что-то попытаешься сделать, жди ответной реакции.
And he told me, if you take any action against me, you will see actions on my side.
Uh-oh. That sounds like a...
Them
Особенно
fighting words.
если касается его семьи, если он сказал, потому что для него самое страшное — это как-то опуститься в глазах его дочерей. Вот, и он сказал, если они что-то узнают о наших отношениях, он делал видео, снимал меня на свой телефон, и я не хотела, чтобы он это делал, а он снимал меня, и у него есть видео наши, свои с наши личные видео, которые только нам можно смотреть. Он говорит, я распространю по всей русской комьюнити. Если ты что-то
Essentially,
сделаешь.
he was very aggressive when it concerned his family. He didn't want to lose his dignity in the eyes of his kids, especially daughters. And he made the videos that only
Can we see them?
for I or he should see. And he threatened
Mavis,
me
thank
that
you
he
for
will spread this video that he took on his phone, by his phone, would be spread around and everybody will know.
All right, so she just said he threatened to show videos that were only
Yes.
meant for the two of them
Uh-huh.
with everybody. Now,
Uh-huh.
if I'm this dude, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, look at me. Looky here. I've gone all in with this young
Spoilers,
honey.
Glenn. Okay, so we're understanding what's happening here. It's pretty complex. This is amazing.
And she's the one that's bringing the complaint against him. By the way, Mavis, thank you for becoming a subscriber on Facebook as well. Thank you.
Hell
When
yeah,
did
we're
he
getting
make that threat?
close to doing Facebook members only.
50 is our goal set.
To you?
Когда он эту угрозу вам сделал?
Когда мы встретились с Шерри в последний раз?
When we met at Sherry's at our last meeting there.
Has he made that threat to you since?
Но после этого он повторял эту угрозу?
Oh,
когда-либо?
Terminator.
Нет, мы не разговаривали после.
No,
И
we
не
didn't.
текстовали, ничего.
We didn't talk after that. We didn't exchange messages or texts after that. There was no contact.
And
Я
as far as
просто
you-
не знаю, он всегда говорит, I'm so sorry for interrupting.
As far as you know, has he
polite.
provided that video to anybody besides you?
Насколько вам
Я не
известно,
знаю,
он не распространял это видео? I don't know.
я не знаю.
I don't know.
Просто он всегда говорит, что у меня power в моих руках, у меня есть много денег, у меня самые лучшие лайера, так что лучше ничего не делай, иначе тебе будет плохо.
He used to say all the time
Whoa.
that I
Whoa.
have a lot of power. I have a
Who
lot
dis?
of. I have the best lawyers ever. I have money.
Ever.
It's better for you just do nothing.
Do as you told you, little Natasha.
And you said in your petition that he
Quest line.
stole your information at some point. I think that's what it said. Can you tell me about
He
that?
has all my information. He has everything because, sorry, I'm gonna speak Russian. Он снял нам дом, потому что мы жили в доме, нам нужно было переезжать срочно, там уже нужно было
Russian, so he
переезжать с
can
этого
understand.
места
I
после
think
моего
as well.
развода.
Hi,
Все.
Paul.
И он снял нам дом, и у него есть вся
So
моя
bet on
информация,
if the
потому что
wife
я должна была
knows
ему
and this
дать,
is
чтобы
all,
apply
you know what I mean? Like
на
that's
дом.
what I want to know.
Okay, let's
Заполнить
make
application.
a pause. Давайте паузу сделаем здесь. The thing is that he rented a house for my family. After
Whoa.
divorce, I needed to move and I needed temporary housing. So he rented a house for me. And in order to apply for it, he got all necessary information, my personal information.
He had all the information.
И я реально боюсь, что он что-то может сделать с моей информацией. Я не знаю, как это или поменять, или как-то... У него есть вся моя информация абсолютно. Вся social security.
All
вся.
my information, including social security number, and I'm really scared that he may do something with this information. I don't know exactly what he might do. He might change some data, or I don't know, but I'm scared.
Mavis sent over more stars. Thank you. Facebook, you're amazing, Mavis. Thank you.
I had one other question for you, just a moment.
Facebook, make sure you
Подождите,
like
еще у меня
this,
будет к вам
share it too.
вопрос. Минуточку.
You said that he left, I think you said weird comments or something like that to your 13-year-old.
Вы писали в своем заявлении, что он оставил какие-то странные комментарии в адрес вашей 13-летней дочери.
Said I banged your mom.
Да, это было в прошлом году. Он был в Майами со своей дочкой, и мы разговаривали с ним на FaceTime. Вот, и он говорит: о, дай с Лолитой поговорю. Окей, он Лолите говорит.
I have a
Просто
feeling that he
как
doesn't
бы
speak any English.
сначала для меня вот как бы
That's what
ничего
I'm
это не
thinking.
значило, а дочка все время мне это говорит: мама, это так
He's taking
странно,
notes.
мне
Yeah, you're
жутко
right.
это
Taking
слушать. Говорит: приедешь сюда ко мне без мамы? Она говорит: вообще, что это? И говорит, вообще
He was like,
какой-то
he could be a real
странный.
dick.
И моя маленькая
He's kind of
дочка, я не знаю, он
nuts,
все
yeah.
как бы делал, покупал ей там,
Young guy.
а она все равно его не любила. Не знаю почему, все время как-то на него как не так реагировала. Я не знаю, что он делал, потому что он возил ее в школу сам без меня. Я не знаю, при мне все было хорошо, а что там было без меня, я не могу себе представить.
Well, it happened last year. He was in Miami with his daughter, and he was exchanging messages with my daughter, saying something like, would you like...
Они говорили на FaceTime.
They used FaceTime for their communication, and he was inviting her to come to Miami without the mother. And initially, I kind of didn't pay that much attention to those kind of conversations, but my daughter didn't like it. She said, what is he talking about? Things like that. And also my younger daughter, he also bought her things and was trying to get her attention. But for some reason, she didn't like him at all. For some reason, he seemed very strange to her. She didn't like him. When I was present, things seemed to be okay. But I don't know what happened when I was not present, because he used to take her to school.
Old creepy man.
I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with this
When
old
is the
man
last time he had
with the
any contact
13-year-old
with any of
daughter
your children, as
FaceTiming.
far as you know?
Come on.
А насколько вам известно, скажите,
Understood,
пожалуйста, Екатерина, когда был последний контакт его с вашими детьми?
Где-то неделю до нашего последнего разговора.
About a week prior to
Yeah,
our
by
last
long.
conversation.
И когда мой сын
Right today,
позвонил,
huh?
когда я заметила, что
I
в
can't wait to
банке
hear
с
his
моего
comeback.
сына ушли деньги, $1000 и там еще, я сказала сыну, он ему позвонил и говорит: Айзек, почему ты взял деньги у меня с аккаунта? Он говорит: мне надо с мамой поговорить, мама тебе их отдаст. Авель говорит: это
Depends
мои
on
деньги, если ты
who
взял,
you
ты
ask,
мне отдай,
Gary.
потом будете
It's a little
разбираться.
complicated.
Он говорит: а
No,
что ты
he
мне такое говоришь,
definitely
ты мне
shelled out some money
угрожаешь?
for her, right? With the rent.
Сыну моему говорит.
Yeah, he set her up in a place.
Он говорит: я
А
не
вот-
угрожаю, просто спросил.
But yet she says she has her own money.
When it became, when my son
After her divorce.
became aware of the fact that he withdrew money from his account, he called him and asked him, why did you do that? He said, your mom will return money back to you. And he said, why don't you decide things between yourselves and you just return my $1,000+, and then
that's it.
you and my mom can discuss this issue. And he kind of said, are you threatening me? Kind of
I am
was unhappy with that.
Conjolio. Are you
И когда мои дети
threatening
что-то,
me?
потому что они тинейджеры, когда что-то там они делали не так, он говорит: о, they're piece of crap. На мою дочку несколько раз говорил. Я говорю: пожалуйста, не пользуй эти слова. Но он расстроился, говорит, что вот эти слова, я извиняюсь, что я их говорю в суде вот так открыто. Я говорю, для меня это нехорошо
Part of it,
звучит. Он говорит,
definitely,
значит,
because
тебе нужно
she had made
поработать над
mention
своим
that
английским.
he
Это
took money
все равно,
out
что
of
сказать просто
even her
crazy.
son's
Это то же
Zelle.
самое. И на
Yeah,
моего
using
сына
Zelle.
тоже говорил такие слова. Это просто, я его просила много раз этого не использовать, но почему-то он себе это позволял, и мне это не нравится.
I also didn't like the fact that he would call my teenagers, my children who are teenagers, a piece of crap. And I didn't like that. And I
You
said,
didn't even know you spoke
uh,
Russian, did you?
I told him about that, but he said, you should improve your English. And I didn't like the fact that he allowed himself to talk about my children in such a way.
Have you told him not to have any contact with your children at this point?
Вы ему в какой-то момент времени сказали,
Quite a
чтобы
few
он
hours
никакого контакта с вашими
and
детьми
I
не
hate
имел.
sports.
Я ему об этом не говорила. Я просто его
Louisiana
просила
Dub?
не использовать такие слова в их сторону.
No, I
Cap?
didn't say that. I just asked not to use these kind of words when talking about my children.
You
Piece of crap.
crap kids.
Love
Anything
the
else you wanted to
translator's
add?
voice, though.
Еще что-то вы хотели бы добавить?
I just want her to say, the children of the night.
Наверное, нет.
Probably not.
Может
You're
быть,
not-
что-то есть еще,
Back and
просто
forth a
нужно
little bit
порыться
here.
в голове.
It's
Maybe there is something in my head that I could say, but
ahead, say
it
it.
doesn't come up right now.
Все, что я хочу, просто, чтобы этот человек ничего не делал. Я не собираюсь его семье говорить, потому что жизнь такая вещь, что она сама расставит все на свои места. Я не
It's even
собираюсь
over
его
1,000,
семью
right? It's gotta
контакт
be
или
more.
как-то что-то делать.
Way more.
Я просто
He
не
helped
хочу,
her out
чтобы
with
он
rent
мне
and housing
как-то
when she needed it.
от обиды или от
Obviously, there's
чего
way more to this
начал как-то
story.
что-то делать в моей жизни.
The thing that I keep thinking about is like maybe he took back money that he had gave her
Maybe.
or money
Yeah.
that he felt he was owed, so he took it back, and that pissed her off. The whole "well, I got my own money."
The harassment part, though, if that's all that she's really got,
He called the kids a piece of crap. I could see that she's probably trying to get some sort of order where he can't contact her kids anymore. None.
Well, that I understand. Listen, if you're FaceTiming, and again, I don't understand this completely, but I think that he said that, or she had said that his daughter would FaceTime or call or text or something, and that he also was on FaceTime as well through his daughter, her daughter. I could be completely wrong.
I think he was wanting her to come and hang out with him and his daughter in Miami. And he used to take her to school and just a lot of weird stuff going on.
I'm hoping that we get a full story on this. Good luck with this one, Judge. After last
Какие-то
weekend.
действия, которые не будут радовать,
This is
конечно.
one of the most
мягко
interesting
сказать.
cases we've had in a long time.
All I want is for this person, for some reason which I am not aware of, may inflict some harm on me, on my family. I am not planning to contact his family, to do anything with his family. I just want him to stay away from my family.
In certain
Right,
parts
Mr.
of the
Duke,
US,
anything you'd like to say in response to that?
Absolutely.
Вы желаете что-то дать в ответ? Какой-то ответ? Спрашивает вашего оппонента.
Who's handsome?
Yes, good morning. Is it my turn, Your Honor?
Oh, of course.
Это моя очередь сейчас говорить, Ваша честь. Да, ваша очередь.
Get ready. The main event.
Okay. I am going to ask for 1 week continuous. I just retained Miss Lisa Martin as my attorney. I don't know if she is on this meeting. She was supposed to, so I don't know if she is present on this meeting or what happened. But I would like to ask for 1 week continuous. please.
Oh, there's Lisa right there.
Я прошу, чтобы вы мне дали отсрочку на 1 неделю. Я только вот нанял адвоката, и он назвал имя этого адвоката Лиза. Я забыла фамилию. И поэтому я прошу отсрочки для этого слушания, чтобы
Why does he need
подготовиться
a
к
lawyer?
нему.
Ms. Martin, Mr. Dweck just told me that you represent him. I don't have an NOA in the file.
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor. I just got retained on the case. And I heard the tail end of Mr. Dweck's argument to the court, and he is correct that we are seeking a 1-week continuance.
Это говорит адвокат господина
But they've
Дуика,
already started
и
the case.
она подтверждает, что вот ее только наняли, и они действительно хотят
Yeah, that's an odd
неделю
move.
He's not happy. He's
отсрочки
got his
для
arms all
того,
crossed
чтобы
and shit.
подготовиться к слушанию.
Yeah.
So we just went through the petitioner's case. Mr. Dweck advised me that he had hired you after we were done with the petitioner's case.
Мы сейчас только вот прослушали все подробности заявления заявительницы, и после этого господин Двик сообщает мне, что он просит
most definitely,
отсрочку.
Eric, but there's a lot
You have not
more to this.
made any contact with the court. You've not filed an NOA. There's no way the court would know that you represent Mr. Dweck without him telling us what you did at the end of the petitioner's case.
До этого момента мы вообще не знали, что, потому что в суде нет никаких бумаг о том, которые свидетельствуют, что вы представляете официально господина Двика.
I don't think he's going to allow this.
So,
May I say something, Your Honor?
no, you
Please.
may not. No.
Нет, вы ничего не можете говорить сейчас.
Ms. Perkova, I am sorry we went through this whole thing, and it sounds like I'm just going to have to continue this.
Я извиняюсь, госпожа Крикова, потому что вы обо всем сейчас рассказали, я во всем разобрался относительно вашего заявления, и мне придется перенести завершение этого слушания на другую дату.
The statute provides that either party may have an attorney, and given that the respondent apparently has an attorney or will have an attorney, I feel somewhat obligated to grant that request.
По закону я обязан дать эту отсрочку, потому что каждый участник дела такого, как вы, может иметь своего адвоката. И поскольку он нанял адвоката, поэтому я должен удовлетворить их просьбу.
Yeah, we'll be right here.
I understand.
Okay. So we'll set it over to April 22nd. That's Friday at 9 o'clock. Does that work for you, Ms. Perkova?
Госпожа Крикова, я хочу перенести это дело на 9 часов в следующую пятницу, то есть 22 апреля. Вас устраивает это время?
Да.
Yes. It's good for me.
Okay. The temporary order will remain in effect until that date, and we'll probably just have to go through the entirety of the petitioner's case again on that morning.
То есть приказ, который запрещает контакт, он остается в силе до этого времени, и когда мы начнем слушание следующей части, к сожалению, вам придется опять все заново рассказывать, Екатерина.
Окей, хорошо.
Okay, good.
I wanted to apologize. I wasn't let in. I'm sorry that you had to go through the entire case like that. My intention was to ask you immediately upon being put through. I didn't realize that you had already heard the case. So I just want to extend my apologies on that.
Адвокат вашего противоположной стороны
We have to translate everything, lady? Come on.
Чувствует себя виноватой, потому что ее сразу не пустили. Она хотела сразу сказать, что она была нанята в качестве адвоката, и она даже не могла войти в зал суда.
И поэтому he should have said that at the very beginning, though.
Yeah, he knew he was coming to this case. He knew
you would let that
going
go
on. He was the first one in the room. First one in the room was him.
So that was another manipulative dick move on his part, is how I'm seeing it anyway. So
asshole this guy is. Oh my God. Not only cheating on his wife, he's FaceTiming 13-year-old girls, but now he's got this lawyer. I can skip ahead to the next case, Creed, if you have something we can jump to while I do that, because this one is pretty much in the can.
Are
While
you sure?
I think so. We'll see. I'll play
Yeah, let it
on.
roll for a minute. Let's.
In the future, please reach out to the court and let us know if you're going to represent somebody last minute without filing NOA.
В следующий раз, пожалуйста, поставьте нас в известность, даже в самую последнюю минуту, о том, что вы будете представлять кого-то в зале суда.
We'll send a copy of the order setting the next hearing and reissuing the temporary order to both parties.
Вы обе стороны получите приказ о том, что защитный приказ продолжает действовать в течение недели до следующего слушания, и приказ о назначении нового слушания на 22 апреля.
Okay, and can we, any objection to just emailing that to the parties?
Не возражают стороны, если я пришлю эти документы вам по электронной почте?
No objection, Your Honor.
Nice video.
Is that for you, Ms. Perkova?
Ирина, вы возражаете?
Все нормально. Это нормально. Пускай по имейлу.
Yeah, it's okay.
This guy's not
I will
right.
get
He
it
just
by mail.
started
It's fine for
immediately.
me.
Wait until the
We'll send that to you
halfway
shortly.
through a.
Ну, мы вам
May I
скоро
say,
Say that.
may I say something before this,
No.
Your Honor?
No, Mr. DeVito, do not speak.
You can speak next week.
На следующей неделе вы
I was
будете.
just going to extend my apology.
That don't do you any.
Thank you.
You-
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll talk to the parties next
Yeah,
Friday.
Dustin?
То есть увидимся в следующую пятницу.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you, Your Honor. Goodbye. Have a
now
good
he's-
evening.
Can I
Now
be
he's-
dismissed, Your Honor?
You may be dismissed, and we'll see you April 22nd. I think it was next
Yeah,
Friday. Guys, we're live over here too, and Haven is still on vacation in the moon on the moon or whatever.
I told you, man, she's in a fallout shelter somewhere.
All right, so now we've got Mr. Bishop. Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, damn it, that's where he's been. I haven't heard from him in a
No
while.
wonder he's
Slaying them cockroaches. I'll BRB. Well, he wrecked some more harassment on the way, by the way.
Yes, I was.
All right, so do you waive reading of the warrants?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
What did you do now, Bishop?
All right, Mr.
Georgia,
Bishop,
glad that's
charge
over. That was one of the
case
best
number
ones we've seen on here, I think. That's a
22-0255
A great premise. I hated listening to the stuff as well. The
oh,
translation.
with the back and forth. Yeah, no, I
Sexually explicit transmissions, 3 counts of that, 1 count of rape, and 1 count of false imprisonment.
Bishop.
Whoa,
Bishop.
Bishop.
Able to set a bond in
Bishop.
your case. So your attorney is going to follow up with you about filing a motion for bond in Superior Court. But that's going to be all we can do for you today.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. My dude's facing all kinds of bad stuff. Oh yes, thank you. No
And then
bond.
we can go back to Mr. Stevens. If I can have DeMarcus Stevens, please.
Hopefully he didn't do anything near as bad as Bishop.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Stevens. You are charged in case number 22-0414-0010003 with terroristic threats. Your attorneys had an opportunity to go over those charges with you, and I'm going to hear from her a little bit about your ties to the community to see if I agree with the agreement that she and the state have come up with.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Stevens, he is 18 years old. He has absolutely no criminal history whatsoever. He is currently in 12th grade, just finishing up high school. So he's a full-time student. He is born and raised in Georgia. He has lived here his whole life. And so when he's released, he's going to go back to his home with his mom, and he has a 15-year-old brother there as well. And so in this case, we came to the consent of the UJR, the signature bond, and then with no firearms, but also the stay away. I just wanted to make sure that there are no future issues with this. It does seem that the alleged victim does teach in the school that he goes to, but he has told me they're in different areas. It's not his teacher or anything like that.
So he made a threat at a teacher.
That we didn't
I don't think
set him up.
I don't think he would be able to go back to that school. number one, I don't think they're going to let him go back. And number two, he's not actually in this teacher's class. So the fact that he allegedly went in there and behaved,
he went out of his way to do this threat.
I'm not comfortable with him being back at the same school with the teacher. I don't know what the interaction is, but I don't think it's appropriate. I don't have any problem with the signature bond, but I'm sure he's facing school disciplinary, and I'll let that carry out. But one of the conditions of a no contact is that you not go around the school or job of the victim, and I do find that to be appropriate at this point.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, I'm not sure what the process is for the school right now, but yes, that was our only concern with the consent, is just to make sure it's something that he could comply with.
Take care, Mayor.
Yeah. So, Mr. Stevens, you're not going to be able to go back over to that particular school. You'll have to deal with them on whatever kind of school proceedings you have. I will give you a signature bond. You're not going to have to put up any money. You may not have any contact whatsoever with Mr. Frazier, and you are not to have a gun or be around any guns while you are on bond. And if you keep in touch with your attorney and keep your address updated with the district attorney's office.
Went out of his way to harass and threaten a teacher.
All right, you're welcome.
He didn't even have.
And that and the waiver.
Ashley, good to see you. Hopefully everybody's looking forward to the weekend, maybe some extra time off.
And if there are no other consents, we'll just go back
and
start from the beginning.
Go ahead.
All right, so the next case then would be Miss Banks.
Yes, Your Honor, and that will be my case as well, Ms. Taylor, for Miss Banks.
And have you had a chance to speak with each of your clients and go over their warrants? Somebody from your office with them?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you waive reading of the warrants?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, Miss Banks. You are charged in case number 2022-040173. I'm sorry. You're charged in case number 21-105.
All right, we'll watch Miss Banks and get back to some anti-harassment
The
court.
attorneys had a chance to go over those charges with you. I'm going to hear from your attorney and the
I like
state.
that the kid can't go back to school at that school, and it's a senior year.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Banks, she
Gary,
is
no.
another
My
woman
God.
based in Georgia. She has very strong ties here. Her entire family is here, and so when she's released, she's just going to go back
Same here,
to
Ash.
the place she's been living for 6 years now, and she lives there with her fiance. And she also has
Absolutely
3
6 o'clock.
children.
Tara.
One is 18 and
100%.
also has that 18-year-old daughter has a child, so she has a little granddaughter who is 8 months old. And then she also has a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old who live at that same place with her and have for the last 6 years. And she has been able to provide contact. I know her fiance is very supportive and has already been reaching out and wanted to even be present and speak to her and speak on her behalf here today. So she also does have employment. She works. She's working at a warehouse packing food and doing warehouse work there. And so she did just have COVID, so she was missing some work. But obviously she wants to get back to doing that. She has already earned her GED, but she does want to go back to school for accounting. And she just wants to kind of build up some income before she is able to do that.
So what is her fiance Lindsay Allen, or is her fiance have a different name?
So yeah, so this is not her fiance at all. This is not anyone that she lives with or anything like that. Her fiance is Earl Clifton. So I know in her criminal history, she has an open case. And so he is actually the alleged victim of that case. And she has like a no violent contact because he has already been like putting forth an affidavit. And I think that's what he wanted to explain today is that, that there's a misunderstanding in this other case.
TK accidentally
However, I said that
timed out the remix last
really
night
get
on
into
the
the facts
jackpot.
of that, and the case is not in front of us. But that's what he was wanting to do today.
I mean, if there's a no contact order on that, that's a problem too. So we're not going to address that. We'll just leave that.
Oh no, it's not. It's not an order that's being violated. It's a no violent contact that they haven't had any issues with that.
I just knew that she has a pending aggravated assault. So if he's the victim of the aggravated assault. All right. So what are you asking the court for?
Yeah, so today we are actually asking for a UJR. She recently had her son-in-law, he was hit by a car, and so his funeral is the day after her arrest, and so her money recently just went towards that. And she is living with her children who she's trying to help support. So
good thing I didn't hit that
she does
laugh
have like
track
a good
on
work
that.
history and
Hit
everything,
by a
but just
car.
because she had been sick and then that happened suddenly, we were going to ask for a UJR today. The max amount that she would be able to pay is maybe a couple hundred towards bond. So if
She's got a good excuse, I'll give her
to go
that.
with the UJR,
Got a lot going on.
for a $2,000 bond, and hopefully her family would be able to get that together and have her be released on that bond.
Do you know whether the vehicle was ever returned to the victim?
It's my understanding that it was. I have not spoken to the victim, so if the state has any information, but it's my understanding it was returned, and that obviously my client disagrees with what the narrative is there, but it doesn't appear to have been damaged or anything like that.
All right.
She's flexing with
Okay,
it. She
then,
got it right there
Ms.
too.
Stapp, what's the state's-
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state will recommend $7,000 and stay away from the victim. In this
Rude,
case, Ms.
sap.
Lees has 19 cycles in Georgia.
And asking for
Oh, wait.
way more.
She has had
19 cycles though.
at least 7 probation violations
Oh,
in
wait
the
a
last
minute.
10 years, as well as 1 failure to appear.
Wah, wah.
And like Your Honor already pointed out, she has an open case for aggravated assault with our office from 2020. She has an open case for felony theft
This lady's a grandma.
from May 2021. And she was just sentenced on the probation violation in Henry County on April 5th this year. So, Your Honor,
7K
there's
ain't that
also
bad,
an
I guess.
outstanding warrant in DeKalb County for misdemeanor larceny.
My God.
From January this year. Given the criminal history, the state is concerned that she's going to be a risk to reoffend and a risk to the property in the community. So the state is going to recommend $7,000 and stay.
Grandma's not coming home for Easter, I don't think, kids.
Did your office
Yeah.
have contact with the victim in this case?
Rob, happy Friday.
Victim in this case.
Good to see you.
Friday.
All right. Well, given her criminal history and pending theft charges, I'm not even going to go anywhere near that aggravated assault charge, but just with the 2 pending theft charges from this year and from last year and the FTA, I don't think a UJR is appropriate. I will respond in the amount of $5,000, and I will order her to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in this case, which is
She
Mr. Allen, Lindsay, or Mr. and Miss Lindsay Allen.
cuts right there in the middle, kind of.
Sap put the hammer down on that one. That was like a whole, sad trombone.
All right, and we'll reserve her right to her probable cause hearing, but we'll have her sign that special condition.
If Sap didn't open up her mouth, I would have been like,
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Let this poor lady
Absolutely.
go.
All right, Anti-Harassment Court, back to it. We got somebody else.
We got some
up
people
there.
on deck. Not sure what they're doing, but they're up and ready to go.
Okay, are you?
Hello
is it
there, Daniel.
Elzinga?
Nice kitchen.
Yes, sir. So looking at your file here, it looks like there is a temporary order in place, but I didn't see that you were able to serve the respondent. Have you been able to
JG?
serve the respondent, or have the respondent served?
Your Honor, I called and they said since there was weapons involved, the weapon seizure, the police, the sheriff would be taking care of it.
Okay, that's correct.
Right
So
answer.
I don't have let me just look in see if there's any notes about what happened.
Is that a cat on the counter or is that lady's shoulder? Oh, never mind. It's the lady.
So it looks like it was sent to Clark County
Nice
and
kitchen.
Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office.
I
I
like
don't
those
have it in the
cabinets.
file showing was served those. What we can do, I'm sorry, you had a question. Looks like I can't hear you for some reason.
I reached
You're on
out
mute,
to them
Daniel.
on Wednesday and I didn't, and they said at that point that it hadn't been served yet.
Okay.
I made a few calls, but I wasn't able to get really the information.
Can you ask your wife to quit playing with the audio?
Been a rough week for this judge.
Okay. So the best we can do at this point is we could set it a couple weeks out, and then that would give law enforcement basically a week to serve it.
And jump ahead to the next if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll go back and see what up here.
And so she unfortunately doesn't know what her family would be able to afford.
And yeah, he's got a hell of a kitchen. You can tell we're not on a voyage.
Student. She does work for Amazon. She had just been starting to do some customer rep work, but she doesn't have a lot of money at this point. So because this is a financial charge and she has absolutely no criminal history,
she works for Amazon.
Disputes what is said in the warrants, we would be requesting a UJR for her today.
All right, Ms. Sapp?
Your Honor, the state will recommend $1,000 rate bond case. The state a UJR is appropriate given facts in this case. Ms. Jackson does not have prior criminal history. However, this is a financial crime with an actual victim, so the state will recommend a $1,000 bond in this case with no special conditions.
Oh, 1K. Easy one.
Well, I think based on her lack of criminal history and the facts and circumstances alleged in this case, I do think that a UJR is appropriate. So, Ms. Jackson, we're going to go ahead and give you a signature bond. We're going to have you sign off on the waiver. Just keep in touch with your attorney, and if you change your address, change it with the district attorney.
All right, Creed, when you come back to harassment court, prepare yourself.
You're welcome. We're going to have you sign off on that.
We are ready.
We have the right folks in, maybe not. So I've got Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, you represent the respondents, is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor. We'll be requesting a short
In
continuance.
her glasses that
I'm sorry.
lined up perfectly down the road there. Roxanne.
Let's see. So we'll just start with that, I suppose. What would be the basis for your motion to continue?
John
Your
Stone.
Honor, I was retained earlier this week, and then I came down sick for 2 days and was not able to put together all the materials my clients had provided to me to provide to the court, inform the court regarding this. The nature of the dispute is a boundary
That's
line.
our favorite part
dispute
about those is when they talk
needs
good
to go to
about
Superior Court eventually, but that's the nature of the dispute. And so I'm just asking for a 1-week continuance so I can file the appropriate declaration and all the
off
evidence.
my lawn, Nightbot.
Okay.
Lots of what is this?
For the petitioners, Mr.
Cedric's,
Driver, do you
court
have any
today?
comments on that request?
Our point here is on harassment. The fact that when we go outside and try to do stuff, mainly Mr. Keith, but he'll come from wherever and start bothering us about what we're doing. So this is about harassment, not about the boundary line. That's a separate order. And Dennis Keith tells me many times to take him to court, and I've told him if he wants to take me to court, I'm happy to see him in court. But
This looks like
this is about
such a good
harassment,
one.
not about boundary lines.
And
This is one of the best cast of characters I've seen in a while.
did you have anything?
Bubbles, attorney at law.
Suggesting there is anything, but was there anything else you wanted to submit to the court in terms of documents for, beyond what you've attached to your petition?
I have a 911 call that I have the audio that I can play for you. That is a false report. He says that he observed my husband and I
Bring
taking
it.
down a sign, which did not happen. My husband wasn't even home.
This is good stuff.
Okay,
I'd
and
be
that's
happy to
something you'll
play.
be able to. Okay.
I
Can
can
we
play
see the
that for you
husband's
if you'd like me to.
Okay, so what we'll do, I am certain that you'd like to take care of this today, and I mean, I would too, honestly. But that being said, the statute provides that either party can have a lawyer represent them, and part of having a lawyer representing them is the lawyer who's had a chance to actually prepare for the case. So I don't think a week is unreasonable. In fact, it's very reasonable. So
Man, they're just
I will
stacking
continue
the
this into
deck
next week.
for next Friday.
It's up to
It's
the,
gonna be
actually,
amazing.
I'll ask the drivers first.
Gone with a
Which would
win,
be
maybe,
less
Eric? I don't.
convenient for you, Thursday or Friday morning of next week.
Well, I think if they're going to have a lawyer present, we're going to need to contact a lawyer too. We do have a lawyer retained, but because this is not about the land issues, this is about the harassment. We did not involve our lawyer in this.
Okay. Would you like to set it out further than that?
If we do that, does the 2-week anti-harassment stand?
Yes.
Yeah, the temporary order would still be in place until the next hearing, at least.
Our preference, Your Honor, would be to keep it a week. These people are neighbors, so the odds of, conflict and or, run-ins or what have you when they have common boundary lines and things is great. So I didn't want to have to set this over to start with, but unfortunately I got sick.
Mr. Davis, I understand that, but you've had time to confer with your clients. I have not had time to confer with my counsel.
Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll set it over 1 week.
She's a B.
And I'm not saying it won't be set over again.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say B.
We'll just set it over a
C
week,
word.
and then if the drivers end up retaining counsel, then we can, readdress it if we need to. But for now,
Well, get ready for next Friday.
Set it over either
Holy crap!
Thursday or Friday. Mr. Davis, do you have a preference?
I do not, Your Honor. Both work for me. Friday, I'm assuming in the mornings, right?
Yeah, both at 9 o'clock. Let's do Friday if that works for everybody.
That works for me, Your Honor.
The 22nd?
Yes, ma'am.
Stacked. Mark your calendars, kids. We've got it all.
So, Your Honor, just for the record, until I hear otherwise, until the drivers hire or have an attorney appears on the case, I'll be serving them directly any materials we file with the court in advance.
We have a lawyer, and the Keefs have the information of our lawyer. It is Lander Home Law Firm, and Philip Habather. Let me double check the name there.
Philip these nuts with the attorney's firm.
So your attorney would have to file a notice of appearance with the court. At that point, they're officially representing you in this case. I understand they represent you in a different case, but you'll. Until then, unless they file a notice of appearance, Mr. Davis would have to provide any documents directly to you. And of course, once you have counsel on this case, he would go through your attorney. So to that end, I would suggest you contact your attorney right away and just let them know, and then they can file a notice of appearance. And
Mr. Davis, what is your law firm?
John Davis PLLC.
Would you repeat that?
John Davis PLLC.
Maybe not with each other. I could totally see them with.
I have many cases with Lander Home, so they'll know who I am.
I'm well known.
Many real estate disputes.
A lot of real estate disputes. I'm pretty badass, Your Honor.
So will this be again at 9 o'clock?
Bridget?
Yes, ma'am. 9 o'clock on Friday, April 22nd. And we will, if it's okay with the parties, we'll just email you a copy of the reissuance order. Includes the next court date.
That's fine, Your Honor.
I'll be all here. Don't worry about that, Your Honor.
All right, very good. So we will talk to you next Friday at 9 o'clock. And
is it true you don't like kitties?
That's all there is to it. So thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wow, that's gonna be.
We're just stacking it. It's like WrestleMania harassment court coming up on Friday.
It's gonna be a day.
Mr. Scott has very strong ties to the area, and for that reason, I don't think he's in any way, shape, or form a risk to not show up to a future hearing. Nor do I think he's a flight risk. And for that reason, my request is the same as it was for Mrs. Scott. I understand the court's position on granting a UJR in this case. So in the interest of efficiency, I just request that the bond be set at $5,000.
Well, if it's McDonald's, Rock Def, they're already cheating you whenever they give you because all drinks are $1. No, I don't know if they are there. They have been here for a long time.
Is the guy's beard coming off and he's trying to push it back on his face, or what?
Not quote the same amount of bond in this case. The state is recommending $15,000 and no contact with the victims.
Dude's weird.
Mr. Scott has 5 cycles in Georgia. I will just mention the 1 cycle in 2016 in DeKalb. He was convicted for simple battery and was sentenced to 12 months probation. The co-defendant in this case, his wife, was in fact the victim in that case because there was one of the special conditions on that
coming off his
sentence was
catch up, Delcy.
Violent contact with the victim, Ms. Scott. So, Your Honor, I believe that a higher amount of bond is appropriate in this case, along with the special condition.
All right. I think given the age of any criminal history.
Woo, big spender.
Mr. Scott, I think that treating them equally is appropriate in this case, and so I will set bond on each of his charges at $2,500 as well, for a total of $5,000. And you are to have no contact with either of the victims in this case. We'll
Do
reserve his right.
we have another attempt at anti-harassment today?
We've got 2 clients. They look both pissed off. We can
All
try
right,
it.
let's do it. Let's try one more.
My calendar, 'cause I'm just looking at the wrong date here.
They don't look too happy. Teresa looks not too happy,
Okay,
but man,
and
look at Ann.
We've got Mr. Green and Mr. Boger present, representing Ms. Liebelt, as I understand, and then other folks in the courtroom. Are these witnesses? Or... Oh, separate case. Oh, I'm sorry. What case are you hearing? Okay. Okay.
Adjourned Friday.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you.
The hallelujahs are a little
And it
sticky
looks
today.
like
I'm
Ms.
sorry. Starkey,
Tahoe,
thank
the
you, Dan.
respondent's in the
5
waiting
points.
room, so she's here. So we'll, when we're done with this case, yours will be next. Okay, and so Ms. Green and Ms. Liebelt, I'll go ahead and swear you both in. I know Ms. Liebelt submitted a declaration. I don't know if she's going to testify, but I'll swear her in just in case. So if you could both raise your right hands, please. And do you swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, everybody says yes. Thank you. And then
2
Ms.
yeses.
Green, I read over your
Yes.
petition.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me just look. I took a bunch of notes too, so let me just look over those.
Oh, damn, he's got notes. I got to go take care of some allergy related BS. I'll be right back.
No, I'll be right here.
So if you would like to just anything you want to tell me, you can add to what's in the petition or just walk me through the whole thing. That'd be fine too. That might be helpful to me, but it's up to you. But at this point, yeah, just tell me whatever you'd like.
That's a bold statement. It's a bold statement.
Sure. Thank you very much. So I basically filed this restraining order to stop the stalking and harassment that was initiated by Ann Liebelt. It has been a number of years now that my family has endured her efforts to get her daughter back to Coos Bay. It is my personal opinion that Ms. Liebelt or Mrs. Liebelt has not fully received the attention and support medically that she needs to recover from the loss of her son. And due to the efforts that she displayed, it's very clear that she has been miserable and manipulative with her efforts to get her daughter back. I did read the response that her attorney had provided. It was interesting to me and notable that she did include a copy of one of the letters that she sent to my home after being requested not to. However, she did omit a letter that she also sent to her daughter that arrived that very same day. Due to the FBI investigation that we had, we received no notice that the case was closed or that it's still pending. It's just hanging out there. No one from the FBI ever followed up with us. But because of the instruction that we received from the agent that was working on the case, when the letters had arrived to the home, initially they were not open because we had been instructed to not tamper with them in the event that they wanted to try to determine any fingerprints.
Ms. Green, speak up. I can't quite.
Sorry about that. So the letters that arrived to my home that Anne sent to myself and to her daughter were not originally open. The FBI had instructed our family not to tamper with any mail that came as a result of the case and the harassing letters that were sent to my home over the last couple of years.
It's going to happen.
The letter that she sent to her daughter that was not included in her response that her attorney provided to us is disturbing also. And I feel it is worth noting or at least including today. I would like to read it if at all possible, because I do believe that it is relevant to this case and relevant to the restraining order that I filed to indicate that it really is a matter of her harassing us and manipulating her daughter to get her to move back home. So, Judge, if I may read this letter.
Your Honor, I'm going to object, and the basis of my objection is relevance. This is a letter, as Ms. Green has indicated, that was addressed to her daughter. While I'm not afraid of whatever content's in there, I think for the purposes of this hearing, it's not going to further the determination about whether or not Ms. Leibelt is engaged in stalking or harassment. It's a letter to her daughter. It wasn't included in her initial filings, which apparently she could have provided.
I don't know.
We didn't include
I
it because
think
we didn't think it was
she
relevant.
has
So,
custody
based
of
on
her
that
daughter?
objection.
It's interesting that you do. It's very interesting
so
that you don't feel it's relevant.
Okay, just a minute, Ms. Green. So the objection's overruled. You can go ahead and read it.
Thank you so much.
So they say.
The letter reads, it's dated 2/24/22. It says, Erica, wow, can't believe you have done this to us. You have the whole house crying, including the girls. Craig would be so disappointed in you, and I am as well. You need to rethink things a bit. Something isn't right. Love you and miss you always, Mom. This letter that she wrote is very consistent with the harassing letter that we received at several addresses, or at the address to our home in Vancouver, in that her son is a pivotal subject in the letters that were received, and her son has been used to basically guilt her, to guilt her daughter into moving back home. So I just really feel as though, even in the response that she provided to us by
Sounds like
providing
she might
a whole
be
news article
like a foster
regarding
parent,
the death
maybe?
of her son.
Her
I don't feel
son's
that
dead.
was relevant, but I really feel as though that it was telling in that, it was very consistent in nature with the theme that we have been enduring all along, in that, she wants her daughter back home.
Yeah, I was expecting fireworks.
Because she lost her son.
Okay. And there were, you talk about a number of letters, you include pictures of them or copies of them that include some pretty offensive language in it. Are those, do you believe those are from Ms. Leibelt to you or to your address?
I do.
And why do you believe that?
I believe that because the handwriting on the letters that we received recently and a handwriting sample that we collected, or that Ann Lieber actually provided to me, is consistent. And it's also consistent in the content. Like I said, the subject matter is generally geared around her son, Craig, the loss of her son, Craig. And how disappointed that Craig would be in Erica, because Erica was dating my son, or is dating my son, excuse me.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her daughter
Anything
is
else you wanted to
dating
add?
Miss Green's son. How the FBI is involved in all this, I have no idea. But they are.
All right.
I want the harassment to stop. Since the individual was dispatched to our home to check on Erica,
Did she not
Erica
say
left
that the son died?
very suddenly.
Yeah, she has a
By
son
the
that's
time I
dead,
made it
but
home from
her
work, she
daughter's
was not there. Apparently,
with
her and my
Mr.
son had
Green's
agreed that
son.
if any more harassment efforts continue as a result of her mom's efforts, that Erica would return home to try to straighten things out. But in my heart, I don't believe that Erica wants to reside in Coos Bay. I know that she still loves my son, and I know that my son still loves her. But I do believe that both of them are very hesitant to continue their relationship due to the harassment that was received by her mom in the past. My family has endured a lot.
I like that we can't hear the letters. I had all the really bad language in them.
Thank you. Mr.
But
Green.
maybe from her.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to be handling a portion of the argument, and then Mr. Bogart will as well. I don't believe we need to elicit any further testimony, and I trust and know that you have read through our declaration. Your Honor, based on the submissions and filings of the petitioner, there's insufficient evidence before the court to show stalking or harassment. The only two communications that were written and sourced to my client and Libel to Ms. Green are 14 months apart, and they consist one of an email of December 2020, and then one, the letter of February 2022, 14 months apart. And the second letter, as indicated in the declaration, was in response to a phone call initiated by petitioner to my client the same day. As far as the other letters, Mr. Bogart is going to delve into that a little bit more deeply. However, I do want to point out that the letters that were submitted, not only in petitioner's filings, but also in our filings, were addressed solely to my client and my client's husband and Erica Libel. They were not addressed to Ms. Green. They were not addressed to Ms. Green's son. Now, obviously, when Erica was living with Ms. Green, the letter came to their house, but it was addressed to Erica. And the first two letters mentioned nothing of racial animus or anything. It referenced their son's death. And the second letter then was even more traumatic because it not only referenced the son's death, but it had threats to kill and all sorts of other pretty ugly things in there. Ms. Green, or I'm sorry, Ms. Libel is the one that initiated the FBI investigation additionally. But before we get there, I think the court needs to just understand that what we're really talking about is two written communications. So in terms of stalking, we do not have repeated continued contacts, attempts to contact, monitoring, etc. Both communications had a lawful purpose. The first communication is basically a desperate plea on the part of Anne to find out the whereabouts of her daughter. And she was asking Ms. Green if she could assist in that. There's nothing inappropriate about that. The second letter was served a lawful purpose to indicate that she was going to, that she had the authority to continue to try to contact her daughter, and Ms. Green didn't have the authority to prevent her from trying to contact her daughter. This isn't a case between Erica and Anne. This is a case involving Teresa and Anne, and Teresa did not have lawful authority to prevent Anne from trying to contact her daughter. And to cut to the chase, as you know, Erica now lives with Anne. So there's no issues there about whether or not there needs to be communication. Finally, or additionally, neither communication would cause a reasonable person to feel intimidated, frightened, or threatened. The content of the letter speaks for itself, and I think it's self-evident that the email and the letter that Anne sent in February to Ms. Green is not something a reasonable person would read and feel intimidated, frightened, or threatened. Now, I understand, and again, we'll get to this, that if you were going to lump in those other letters and attribute them to Anne, that would be something different. But those are not attributed to Anne. And in fact, as mentioned, this FBI investigation has been dormant since January of 2021.
So you think the FBI thing is over the letters?
Must be. It said something about this across state lines, which would Some makes sense, but with the FBI though, I was gonna say, did anybody notice they've got a just like the mayor does on Voyage Voyage has a fan there.
I mean, getting heated in there.
The FBI part of it is very odd.
It really is
very weird. Is that maybe a big time play in one of their heads that I'm going to get the FBI involved if you don't stop?
This is a hate crime or something like that. I'm guessing, maybe.
Given the content, or given the lack of any threats or intimidation, there's no way that this passes muster in terms of stalking. In terms of harassment, the letters do serve a lawful purpose, as I indicated. The content of the communications cannot be said to seriously alarm, harass, annoy, or be detrimental. And it's not reasonable to believe that a person would suffer substantial emotional distress based on the email and the letter in February of 2022.
Handwriting.
And then in terms of the course of conduct, there was only 2 communications initiated by Ann. The second one was in response to a communication initiated by the petitioner. Under the subsection 2, petitioner told my client to stop sending communications to my client's daughter. She doesn't have the ability to do that. The communications were not designed to alarm, annoy, or harass. Ms. Leibel had a lawful purpose with each communication, and the 2 communications were, again, 14 months apart, did not unreasonably interfere with privacy, nor could it be said to create an intimidating, hostile, or offensive living environment. Therefore, just based on the statute and what's been submitted by petitioner that we know came from my client, it can't be said that either of the statutory burdens have been met. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bogar now to discuss the remainder.
Thank you. And Your Honor, I want to address the background letters from the 2020 period. And I think they really need to be evaluated within the context of everything that's happened, because the petitioner made a choice to include those as part of her petition. And in doing so, she presents this, not ambiance, this picture, as she just testified to, that she believes Ann is the one who sent these letters. The idea that a mother who lost her son, who included her daughter's boyfriend in the obituary,
good point,
would
Francis.
then write the letter,
Very
write
good
the
point.
words, Craig is dead, as a threatening letter, is horrifically offensive. And we come to courts of law with a belief that what's being presented is not part of a shell game or hiding the ball or presenting something to present a false picture. These letters came in 2020. We all remember
that makes the most sense.
Of 2020. We remember what was going on in Portland. We remember everything that happened. And petitioner, as she just indicated, is somehow asserting without any evidence these letters that we absolutely agree are vile and racist and threatening. She's asserting them to Ann, to a grieving mother, with full knowledge of the fact that an FBI investigation was ongoing. Every attorney knows if you put your client in the room with the FBI and your client lies, that is a federal crime. So what we know happened is Ann contacted the FBI because Ann received these vile, racist, threatening letters. Ann retained counsel. Ann and Ann's attorney agreed to that interview. Ann went through the fingerprints. Ann is the person who conducted the handwriting sample. And nothing followed because there is no evidence. There's absolutely nothing to
It's his
tie
anti-harassment
any of these
court
letters,
turn up.
except that she received them. That her, as a grieving mother, received letters referencing her son's death, her son who was held hostage in Mexico. And she included Miss Green's son in his obituary. So to somehow, to include those letters, from my view, intentionally creates a picture attributing these letters to Ann without any evidence, without anything more than a hunch or a suspicion that has been investigated by the FBI. And it puts us in a whole different light. You know, Miss Green talked about the letter that was sent, I believe it was February 24th, 2022 to Erica. She didn't note that these letters were sent to Anne. And that's what matters, because without those letters, there's nothing that the court could have read that would have been in any way threatening, harassing, or stalking. Because one adult living in another adult's house does not give up their right to receive mail because the other adult doesn't want Anne's daughter to receive a letter from her mother. Every communication that Anne sent was appropriate. None were threatening. The investigation was completed by the FBI with the assistance of counsel retained by Anne, who put Anne in that room with the FBI investigators. So there is just nothing here, Judge. There is nothing here that is in any way stalking or harassing, as those terms are defined by Washington law. And there's nothing that can be attributed to Anne that is actually anything more than a mother trying to get in touch with her daughter.
We don't know
And her
about
daughter is
some
not
of
the
those
petitioner in this case.
letters, though.
So
yeah, they had to be really bad.
They might have
really
been.
bad. There's no way the court can grant the petitioner's request, and if anything, fees are appropriate, because
Very true, Nancy. Very true.
these words were attributed to Anne without any evidence.
Yeah, a lot of bad
and
things.
without addressing the fact.
Make it go
that
away. Yeah.
Anne's son is the one who died. So that's where I'm at.
Thank you. And then Ms. Green, any?
I think we will, Georgia.
Yes, please.
I don't think she
believe
wants
that
to
we
talk.
have
She's
ever
already
been
given a
notified that the
declaration.
FBI investigation was completed.
True.
And Anne did not initiate the FBI investigation on her own merit. The FBI was called in because of the use of the U.S. Postal Service to deliver racist, threatening, harassing.
You're right. I don't think we'll hear from Anne.
I would also like to note that Anne always had access to her daughter and was communicating with her via phone calls and text messages. So there was never any prevention on my end to stop Erica from communicating with her mother through those means. She always had access to her daughter. I would also like to note that because of the FBI investigation, our home address was never communicated to Anne. Yet her family member, her daughter, Rachel, sent flowers to our home address.
Oh, no, not flowers.
Without any indication of how she actually got our home address. And the same thing with these letters that were received in February. No one from my household provided Anne or her family with my home address. It's just something that she took the initiative to look up and send me those letters out of spite after having that conversation. So that is harassing. When you are asked not to send something to someone's home, and then you later admit to my son that you sent those letters out of spite, that is harassing.
Thank you.
Just briefly, Your Honor, unless you're ready to render it.
Ready. So, okay, so looking at the communications allegedly from the respondent, looking at the letters from 2020, with the, as parties explained it or described it, vile racist content. I mean, I can't find by a preponderance of the evidence, nor do I honestly understand why the respondent would be sending those letters to anybody, especially since they seem to be addressed to her, at least in part. So I can't find that she's sending those letters. With regard to the rest of the correspondence between the parties or from the respondent, they're either not to the petitioner, they're to her daughter at the same address, but they're not addressed to the petitioner, or they're made for the lawful purpose of seeking out information about her daughter. The letter of February 24th of this year, the content isn't particularly aggressive or unpleasant. And it is really part of a greater conversation about Erica. So I can't come to the conclusion that the respondents committed either
It's going to get dismissed.
stalking or harassment against the
Yep.
petitioner.
I think so.
Furthermore, it seems at this point, it's. I mean, I don't mean to suggest your concerns are invalid or that you're making any sort of frivolous claims, but at this point, I think it seems like it's almost moot because the daughter isn't living there anymore. So,
yeah, the daughter went
I'll
back and lived with
dismiss
her mom.
The petition, Ms. Green, you do have the right to appeal. If you'd like to do that, you can check with District Court Administration. Mr. Boger made a reference to costs or fees.
She does, man.
The statute doesn't provide authority for that. In fact, there's case law basically saying the court, generally speaking, can't award a prevailing respondent costs because it frustrates the purpose of the statute. I think there are probably circumstances where the court could award costs, but I'm not going to conclude that this petition was made frivolously or in bad faith. I think Ms. Green genuinely believes what she's saying, so I'm not awarding any costs. So with that, we'll send a copy of the dismissal order. We'll print out a copy for counsel, and then Ms. Green will. Would you like us to email that to you, or would you prefer a paper copy in the mail? Either is fine.
Wow.
Paper.
Okay, we'll mail that to you.
Just like that, it got thrown out
Is
the house.
is your mailing address the same as when you filled out the petition and the other paperwork?
Yes.
So we'll mail it to that address then. And that should go out probably sometime.
Then you're going
this
to hate my
afternoon.
video
It might
coming
not
up.
actually hit the mail till Monday, so it might be a little bit of delay. If you don't see that in a week, call us though.
Wow.
Okay.
All
And
right.
Thank you to the parties. You can disconnect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's cut it there. Pretty
her lock.
surprised. Very much looking forward to.
Oh, look at her celebrating.
Oh, that. Oh my God, that was great.
That was awesome.
All right, guys, appreciate you. We're gonna cut it a little bit short today, just because we got a busy day ahead. Coming up at 4:05, of course, we got a chase. 6 o'clock members only, and then Mikey's got something for us. It's dropping or premiering, we should say, at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
On the main channel.
That's right. So be ready for that. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and step on away. We appreciate everybody. Had a great crowd in here today. Big crowd. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, I will be back with some morning Zoom court. Creed may join me or may not. I'm not sure.
Maybe for a minute. I got a lot of packing to do. Got 2 weeks.
No worries.
On the road, as they say. We'll see. Hopefully, if all goes right, because I love first appearances. Again, appreciate you guys and all the support. We'll see you back here at 4:05. Yeah.
All right, guys. If you haven't already liked this video, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing it. If you're ever on Facebook, give this a share. And until next time, woohoo! Please remember.
I loved her celebrating at the end. That was funny.
Yeah, after being so stoic the entire time.
Exactly. And then realizing that it was still on.
And her daughter there to help.
Yeah.